Hello YouTube, my name is Sam, aka The Sensible Leftist, and in this video I'm going to be explaining how not every observation involving race is racist, and why not everything is a frickin' dog whistle. Now before I continue, if you end up liking this video, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. So, let's start with this. Back in 2018, a California woman walked into a Walmart, and by the way, this woman is black, just so you know, it's important to the story. She walked into a Walmart and discovered that the hair coloring products meant for black women were kept behind a locked glass case, whereas the ones meant for white women were kept basically on an open shelf free for anyone to take. So of course, like any American would, she sued for racial discrimination. Now, the updates to the story indicate that while the lawsuit was dismissed, Walmart said that they would end the practice of putting products meant for women of color behind locked glass cases. Now, those are the facts as presented by reputable news sources, but let me give you my personal take on this. It's clear that this woman has never worked retail a day in her life, because if she did, she would know that when retail stores run their inventory and see that product A has a lot more shrinkage than product B, product A is more than likely going to go behind a locked glass case. Case in point, when I was working for Staples 20-something years ago, I came back from vacation and all the Brother P-Touch products were suddenly put behind a locked glass case. And when I asked my manager about it, he basically said that that's because when they did their inventory, they discovered they had over $1,500 worth of Brother P-Touch cartridges missing. So yeah, it's not racial discrimination for a retail store to want to combat theft. And quite frankly, them saying they would end the practice of that basically indicates that they would rather face increased theft than run the risk of offending people. Now, maybe instead of this woman suing Walmart, she should have told her friends in her community to stop stealing the stuff, and maybe, just maybe, Walmart wouldn't have had to put them behind a locked glass case. And it's not racist to say that, okay? Number two, let's talk Caitlin Clark. In her rookie season, she didn't miss a single game. In her second season, however, she seemed to be that she can't stay healthy. She's always getting hurt. Well, she's always getting hurt because opposing teams' players are like targeting her, and it's almost like as if they're trying to injure her. Now, I'm going to tell it to you straight. This is out of pure jealousy, and here's why. Because if you take a look at the WNBA, they've had a problem with viewership and attendance ever since they were created. And in addition to that, it's no secret that the vast majority of players in the WNBA are women of color and mostly lesbian. And I'm not talking about the stat that says only 38% are openly gay. Former players have said that the league is 98% lesbian, so I'm going with that. Now, Caitlin Clark comes in, and every game she plays, the arena sell out. Every time she plays, viewership skyrockets. Now, if you're a typical WNBA player who is black and gay, and if you've been busting your ass for the last 25 years trying to make your league relevant, and then all of a sudden, a young white woman who likes men comes in and does what you've been trying to do for that time, you're going to feel some sort of way about it, and you're going to get jealous, and you're going to want to take revenge. And that is basically what is happening with Caitlin Clark. And quite frankly, it is not racist to say this. I know that a lot of people who try to bring that up are accused of being racist. It is not racist to make a painfully obvious observation. Pause for water. Now, let's move on to dog whistles. Now, I love shopping at Publix because, yes, I know they're a little bit expensive, and yes, I know I can go to other places, but I like shopping at Publix because I love their customer service, and I love their selection, and I love the fact that there is, 4 within a 2-mile radius to my house. Do I like the fact that a lot of their leadership at the C-suite votes for people that I don't particularly care for? No, but guess what? I don't give a shit because I know how to compartmentalize. And there are people who have told me, but Sam, if you dislike that so much, why do you keep giving Publix your business? Because quite frankly, I don't care about who the people in the C-suite votes for. And then people will tell me, yeah, but why can't you just go out of your way and shop somewhere else? I'm like, okay, first off, when you buy perishable foods that need to be brought home ASAP, you don't have time for morality games. But there's another reason behind this as well. Every time I have to drive past an area that has a Winn-Dixie, Sedano's, or Festival supermarkets, they're always located in an area where I would feel like I have to artificially raise my sense of awareness just to walk through the parking lot. And quite frankly, when I'm shopping for food, I shouldn't have to do that, quite frankly. Okay? So of course, people will basically, oh, that's a dog whistle, man. That's just code for you don't like being around minorities. No, that does not mean that, okay? There's plenty of majority white locations that I'm sure the public's alternatives put themselves into. They just happen to be concentrated in the lower income areas, quite frankly, because they know that their cheaper prices will attract those type of individuals who are trying to save some money. It has nothing to do with race. Now let's move on to the final thing, and that is laundromats. Before we moved to Florida, we rented an apartment that did not have a washer and dryer in the unit, and quite frankly, we stopped using the community laundry facilities in the apartment complex because they were downright gross. And how is that relevant to what I'm saying? Well, people have always been telling me, why don't you, your parents live with you, why don't you move out and get your own place? Well, unfortunately, the cheapest apartments that would fit within my budget don't have a washer and dryer in the unit. And quite frankly, I would rather still live with my parents and have a washer and dryer than rent an apartment that would force me to use one. And of course, people will respond with, oh, what, you think you're too good to use a laundromat? No. Then I tell them the reason why. When we were in New York and we had to use a laundromat, we tried four. And each time we had problems with seedy clientele to the point where if either me or my parents went there, we made a pact to only go there during daylight. Yeah, whenever there were legit times when we thought that we might have been robbed. We saw people stealing other people's clothes. It's not something that I want to repeat again, and that's why I wouldn't want to use a laundromat. So of course, when I tell people this, some of them will automatically go, oh, that's a dog whistle, man. You just don't like being around minorities. No, that's not true. If you try 4 laundromats and the same problem happens at each one, it is not a dog whistle at this point, and it's not about the racial markup of the clientele. It's just the clientele to begin with. And quite frankly, I don't want to put myself in that position again. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this video here. I've already run long. If you end up liking this video, again, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I shall see you around soon. Bye.